And I always get asked that question, how come you still have Murphy? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, listen, I was married to that man for years, okay? I earned my name. I deserve my name. I have 5 children with that name. I didn't see any harm in keeping my last name. It doesn't matter.
Can you believe it? I honestly thought Nicole Murphy had fully moved on from how her marriage with Eddie Murphy ended, especially since she once said they'd always be family and that she'd keep his last name forever. But behind closed doors, that love story was way messier than it looked. Allegedly, Nicole never even wanted that divorce. Insiders claim the only reason she filed was because she couldn't deal with Eddie's constant running around and those suspiciously tight bonds he had with certain people in the industry. And one name that always comes up? None other than singer Johnny Gill. Now sure, men can be best friends, no problem with that. But people insist Eddie and Johnny's friendship had a different kind of energy. Folks pointed out how they allegedly wore matching bracelets, almost like a couple move. And to top it off, Johnny went as far as taking a lie detector test just to prove that he and Eddie weren't romantically involved. But instead of silencing the whispers, that test only made people talk louder. Because seriously, who takes a polygraph just to say we're friends unless there's more under the surface? Word on the street is that Nicole Murphy herself might actually believe there's some truth to all those whispers about Eddie and Johnny.
I was walking down the stairs because I was just checking out. It was in the Hollywood Hills. So I was walking down the stairs and they were kissing at the bottom of the banister. And I'm like, damn, the nutty professor really is nutty. like, like he really is and they were going at it. For real, like swallowing tongue.
Why? Because during her marriage, she reportedly saw and heard plenty of things that didn't sit right with her, and it made her question what was really going on behind closed doors. So the big question remains, what exactly was happening between Eddie Murphy and Johnny Gill? See, before the rumors about Eddie and Johnny even started spreading, folks were already side-eyeing Eddie's love life. On the surface, he looked like the ultimate ladies' man, dating model after model, actresses, and fathering kids that proved he was living that playboy lifestyle. But insiders always hinted that this was just a carefully staged cover-up for what Eddie was truly into, and that's when the cracks in his image started to show. Back in 1997, Eddie got caught up in a scandal so big it almost wrecked his whole career. Eddie got caught up in a scandal so big it almost wrecked his whole career.
And the women that they're married to wouldn't believe a word you said about them. And these are the reason why we have to start speaking out. Because these men who are famous or straight or perceived to be these macho guys are coming out behind their wives, their children, having oral sex, being the women behind their women.
Around 4 in the morning in West Hollywood, police pulled him over for what seemed like a routine traffic stop. But what they found riding with him shocked everyone. A 20-year-old transgender escort named Adesoni Shalimar Sayuli. When cops pressed him about it, Eddie quickly tried to brush it off, claiming he was just being a good guy and helping someone in need. But people weren't buying it, especially when it came out that he was out cruising the streets while Nicole and the kids were away. The timing, the story, the company, none of it added up, and the whispers about Eddie's double life grew louder than ever. And let's not forget the bombshell claims from Octavia Saint Laurent. Now, Octavia was never the type to bite her tongue. She spoke her truth loud and clear, and she was always proud of living openly as a transgender woman. According to whispers, Octavia and Eddie were more than just acquaintances. They allegedly dated for a period of time. But here's the twist. Octavia was far from happy with how Eddie handled things. She claimed he tried to keep her in the shadows, acting like he was embarrassed to be seen with her in public. That didn't sit right with Octavia at all. So what did she do? She called him out boldly, straight up daring Eddie to deny her story. She didn't flinch. She didn't back down. And she let the world know exactly how she felt about being hidden away. And the confidence with which she said it made people stop and wonder. Was she exposing a side of Eddie he desperately didn't want the world to see? Let's not forget, everything we've been talking about went down while Eddie and Nicole were still married. So when Nicole finally pulled the trigger and filed for divorce, insiders leaked that one of her breaking points was Eddie's way too close friendships with certain men in the industry. And the name at the center of it all? None other than R&B star Johnny Gill. Now, whispers about Eddie and Johnny being more than just friends didn't start yesterday. These rumors date back to the 90s, when fans couldn't help but notice how inseparable the two were. Their connection looked way deeper than your average Hollywood buddy system. Even when Eddie's short-lived marriage to Tracy Edmonds crumbled, guess who popped up with commentary? Johnny Gill. He claimed it was Tracy's mother who played a big role in the split, but Tracy wasn't having it. She clapped back fast, blasting Johnny for spreading what she called outrageous lies. She told him to stay out of her business, adding that his comments were nothing but a desperate attempt to clean up his own reputation. Then she dropped the bombshell line, "We all know the real truth." And that one statement had people buzzing. What truth was she hinting at? And how deep was Johnny really tangled in Eddie's personal life? Things got even messier when one of Johnny's ex-girlfriends came forward. She admitted she had to walk away from their relationship because she simply couldn't handle how close Johnny and Eddie were. In her own words, "Johnny and Eddie have always been very close friends, but I could not compete with their relationship. It was strange. I can't even explain it." That confession only fueled suspicions, especially since sources later claimed Johnny was actually living in a guest house on Eddie's property during his marriage to Nicole. Imagine Nicole trying to manage her household while also dealing with her husband's best friend practically living in the backyard. And just when you think the story can't get any wilder, the streets started buzzing that Eddie and Johnny might have been together this whole time, just keeping things under wraps. Some insiders even allege they still meet up at those exclusive Hollywood parties where anything goes and nobody bats an eye. One former escort from a Diddy party even spilled that he personally saw Eddie and Johnny getting a little too cozy in the corner, and he couldn't believe his eyes. And when Johnny Gill finally threatened to take legal action, thinking that would shut everything down, Eddie didn't flinch for a second. He doubled down, saying he had absolutely no reason to duck or hide because all he was doing was speaking the truth. But let's be real, this is Hollywood. And these days, down-low whispers hardly ever come out of thin air. Like people always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And plenty of folks are convinced these Eddie and Johnny stories just can't all be lies. Think about it. Have you ever seen Johnny Gill with a stunning girlfriend on his arm? Nope, but people sure saw him plenty of times with Eddie Murphy. And let's not forget, Eddie himself got caught up when police pulled him over with that young escort years ago. That scandal never really went away. So now, when you put two and two together, the picture starts to look real messy. Eddie Murphy and Johnny Gill, some people out here swear it makes way too much sense. And the wildest part? These whispers about them have been floating around since way before our time. Generations of fans have heard the same rumors recycled, again and again. What do you think? Could Eddie Murphy's bond with Johnny Gill actually be more than just a friendship? Or is this all just Hollywood cooking up another scandal to keep people talking? The whispers have been around for so long that fans can't help but wonder if there's a little truth mixed in with the gossip. Share your thoughts down in the comments. I'm curious to see where you stand on this one. And before you go, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Stay locked in with Star Watch because the tea never stops spilling. Stay locked in with Star Watch because the tea never stops spilling.